All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another day. Welcome back. Happy Monday. How we doing? Margin, what's up, man? Golf, John, Kevin, NVIDIA 200. One day, maybe. One day. Trading levels, Sid, what's up, man? Easy. What's up, Bob? Chef, how you doing? Chef, new Tesla yet? What's the deal with that? What's the update? Margin's got a new little shield next to his name. Look at that. What's up, Ace? Morning, everyone. How we doing? Hope you guys had a good weekend. I didn't even watch the Super Bowl yesterday. How pathetic is that? I watched the first half and then I lost interest. I should have made my bet though. I'll tell you that. I should have made my bet on Seattle. I think that was a pretty felt like that was an easy one. Excellent weekend. Happy to hear that. Game was awful. Leaning towards the new Model Ys are nice. We have one of those. I have the new Model Y. I have the Model X as well. I like the Y. The size in the X is definitely noticeable. It feels more comfortable driving. The size in the cabin is definitely larger and definitely noticeable, but they stopped making them, so I guess it's no longer you can even get them. All right. So, welcome back, guys. Game plan on Friday was sick. Beautiful action. We called that pretty nicely. The hold over the daily 100 on the ES was very nice. Our target of 25,220 was pretty much the exact high of day. So I think a really good thesis coming into Friday, not being short down into that daily 20. And then really the best and the most rewarding analysis we did, in my opinion, just for me, and, sort of feeling like spotting something actually means something. The SMH. The SMH, it not breaking under that previous day low. We talked about the outperformance, and that was just absolutely spot on. So really nice stuff. Hope you guys caught a piece. Tesla on Friday was incredible on the on some of those holds in the upside continuation with the target of 414.50. So overall, a great week, a great analysis, and let's do it again. Let's do it again. Every day, step up, get prepared, trade, take advantage of some moves that we analyze, and take that money and run. This year so far has been good, up roughly getting close to that $30,000 mark year to date. So nice and healthy, easy. No big huge positions, just nice slow grinds, nice slow, day by day, little by little. So I'm very much enjoying the year so far. So let's see if we can continue that this week. If you guys could, please press that like button. If you haven't checked them out, I'm posting daily live trades on this YouTube channel. So if you guys just come to the live streams but you don't watch the videos, I would recommend checking them out. Every single day this month, every day of the week, I'm posting a recap and live trades of the trades that I take on a daily basis. This is going to be something I do all of February, so you can basically just look back and see exactly how the entire February went, day by day for me. So very excited to continue to do that, and I hope that you guys help me support those videos and press the like button on them and watch them and all that good stuff. So, Desi, did I see the Cadillac F1 car reveal? I did not see the commercial, but I did see the car, and I love the all black, man. I like this team style. I like the all black, the luxury. Black screams luxury. If you guys ever took a marketing class, that's what colors mean a lot. And black just feels like stealth. So, yeah, I'm excited to see how that. I'm very excited for the F1 season this year. That's probably going to be, I hope it's an exciting one. When does F1 start, actually? I know they're already starting the testing. First race is March. Wow, we're not that far away. Hell yeah. A month away. All right. Let's do it. Let's jump in. Press that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Here we go. Right. So last night I was very close to putting my entire $1,000 balance in Kalshi right into the Seattle Seahawks. But then I figured, that's probably not the smartest thing to do. So I didn't. But man, do I wish I did. Today on the economic calendar, really nothing to really be worried about here. Tomorrow we do have retail sales and employment cost index. So retail sales tomorrow, something to be paying attention to. Wednesday, average hourly earnings, non-farm employment change, unemployment rate. Thursday, unemployment claims. And then Friday, which is a very strange day, we have CPI. So super strange that we had CPI this week. We had PPI the week actually 2 weeks prior, which is so bizarre. We had PPI on this Friday 2 weeks ago, and now we have CPI this week right here. So a really strange CPI, PPI calendar this month. I don't know why this occurred. Maybe something to do with the government shutdown, but yeah, I have no clue. Anyways, we have CPI on Friday. Just understand that. Okay. So that's that. In terms of earnings calendar, we do have some decent earnings this week. Some interesting ones. Nothing major. Nothing like large cap tech names, but definitely some major ones, some interesting ones. Robinhood is one of those. Robinhood was a sick. I hope some of you caught some of that Robinhood action on Friday. I really do regret not just getting aggressive on that. Really good read on Robinhood on Friday and an awesome move and continuation, really, even into the pre-market today. So really interested in Robinhood. Part of me wants to buy some shares before this earnings. I think Robinhood's a great company. I really do think they're innovating quite a bit. I think this is, a big pullback like we've seen probably becomes an opportunity at some point. So I'm very intrigued by Robinhood. Sort of wish I was in it on Friday. We'll see what I do. We'll see if I get aggressive on it. But Robinhood, very interesting on Tuesday, tomorrow, after hours. Definitely something to watch there. Shopify, we have APP, we have Wednesday after close. We have McDonald's. We have NBIS, which has been a big name lately. Interesting name, volatile name. We got Coinbase on Thursday. We got Pinterest. We got Toast, DraftKings, AMAT, Dutch Bros, AAP Boys, the Advanced Auto Parts, Upstart. I know some of you guys love Upstart. Datadog. So we got we're peppered. I mean, we're just peppered with names all this week. So just pay attention. Make sure to keep popping up this calendar. Make sure you're not swing trading through any of these if you are in something long or short. Robinhood is definitely sort of top of mind here heading into this week. Yeah, Walmart's still going. I actually looked at Walmart this morning. I'll continue to look at it today as well. But let's jump into the levels today. So, NASDAQ futures. Last night, did some analysis on our Sunday prep, and we saw that we are trading into the 25,200 level. This is going to be a very, very important level today. So right here, we can see these lows. We can see the rejection highs here from Wednesday into Thursday, and look at where we failed this morning at the 25,200. So this is absolutely a very important spot today. 25,200, 25,220 on the NASDAQ futures. Can we hold above it? If we can, I believe you are going to 25,514, 25,536. That would be my target on the upside today. If you can reclaim 25,220, it would be from level to level, right? From here to here. This area right here would be my area where I think expansion can come in from the 25,220 to 25,536. I think that's a very nice looking trade today, something I would be looking for. That would also be right into the daily 100 SMA on the NASDAQ futures, and you are going to be stacked with SMAs here. Daily 100, daily 20, daily 50. So you have a very big stacked up area above on the NQ at the 25,500, 25,530 area, okay? That could be a very nice target for the upside if we can reclaim 25,220. Now, the level that we are pulling back and holding right now, which is a very interesting spot, right, and does lead to the upside interest today, and that is Thursday's high a day. That is right here. The Thursday high of day on the NASDAQ futures was 24,960, and that is exactly the low that is holding this morning. So that is very interesting. You are holding above Thursday's highs of last week right here. So if that continues to hold, then I think that could be the reason you facilitate a move over 220 and possibly up to the 530, right? You need to hold now this 24,960 level. 24,960 is also where you had a flip on the 1 minute chart in the short-term time frames on Friday, right? Here's Friday's action. Here's the market open. You went up, you failed it. You went up, you failed it. You got above it, you held above it at 24,960, you went higher, all right? So right here was the most important pivot of Friday intraday at Thursday's high day at 24,960. That is pretty damn clean. And you can see this morning, look at the exact level that's holding, 24,960. So levels are absolutely doing their work today. There's no doubt about it. You just need to trade off the levels without bias, without emotion. So today, 24,960 is absolutely a level to watch. 25,220 is absolutely level to watch. And the next level above is 25,536. Can you get above this level and hold it into this? Do you reject this level and go back into here, right? Do you fail below Thursday high a day? And does that bring you down into Wednesday's lows at 24,783? If you fail that, then guess what? You're right back into the 24,500. So very clean levels this morning on the NASDAQ futures, and this is all about reading intraday price action to now decide what trade sets up, all right? So today we're going to be very focused on the fact that we are going to be trading right into rejection points to start this morning. We're going to be trading right into Tuesday's lows, right into this Wednesday rejection, right at this 25,220. So I am not going to be interested in longing if we are trading right below this, right? This could create a lower high rejection and could drive us lower on this market. If that creates a rejection play, then that could drive us down towards that Thursday high a day. If we fail below that, then that's another rejection play down into 24,783. All right, and so we just got to watch price action at this major inflection point today on the NASDAQ futures at 25,219, 25,220. Okay? If that turns into a strong maintain and a strong hold, then upside it is. QQQ, very similar look. If you guys recall, 6/13/18. I want you to tattoo 6/13/18 into your mind. You can put it on your body if you want, but I'd rather you just sort of put it in your mind. I don't think that's a tattoo that you'd necessarily want. But 6/13/18 is a very important level here on the QQQ. 6/13/18 is these 4-hour highs right here and these 4-hour highs right here. A major previous rejection point on the QQQ, which rejected here, which was a hold here, a major pivot on the QQQ. Now, not only that, if you go to the short-term time frames and you go to Wednesday of last week, 6/13/18 in the daily 100 SMA is the reason this market failed. It was right here. This was Wednesday at 10:25 a.m. You saw a perfect failure of that 6/13/18 level and a perfect failure of the daily 100, which drove the market lower. If we zoom out, we can see that this is the exact level that you have traded up into in the pre-market and in the after hours last night. 6/13/18 and the daily 100 SMA. So I would be very careful of being long into the daily 100 SMA and to 6/13/18 on the QQQ. That is absolutely a level that I would not be looking for aggressive longs right back into. If you look at this hourly chart, that is technically a long back into these double bottom lows, and that is possibly, very possibly, a break and retest rejection, right? This is very possibly a break and retest rejection. It's absolutely a possibility, and I would be cautious of it. Now, if you get above 6/13/18 and you reclaim the daily 100 SMA, that would absolutely be the read that I would, the long that I would look for back towards the daily 20, daily 50, right? If you can get above 613.18, if you can reclaim the daily 100, if you can get a strong hold back above this level, then you are long into 619 on the QQQ and long into the daily 20, daily 50. Clearly, very clear today. Now, if you see failures there, where do I think that could take you? I think it is very possible that the QQQ could need a pullback towards this Wednesday low right in here, right? Back towards that December low and September high, back towards that 600 level. That would be a very nice 50% retracement on this move. If we take a fib from high to lows, 50% retracement would take you right into that 600 level. So if you retrace about 50% of this move down towards 600, this would be a fantastic higher low for potential upside continuation. I love that look. That would be my favorite long look today. My favorite long today is not long off the open into supply, right? My favorite long today is a move lower into 600, a strong defense, a nice 50% retracement back into this Wednesday low, and then a new higher low being created right here, right? A low, a higher low off a 50% retracement and back into the Wednesday lows. This would be a fantastic spot to look for upside continuation. I love that look. So, again, a very clean, a very mature thing to be watching, right? We have a 50% retracement right into the 600 in December lows, right into the Wednesday low. Bam, give me that. Hold here, give me this, right? And then push this thing back higher on a clean break and retest long, right? A very nice look. Definitely something I would watch for. If we overextend ourselves this morning into 613.18, I'd be careful of us failing the daily 100. But hey, if this market just wants to be absolutely insane and not give pullbacks and get above 613.18 and hold above it, then yes, this will drive towards that daily 20, daily 50. Okay? So let it be known, A+ for me today, right here. If you fail this, if you fail back under Wednesday's lows, that's no bueno. All right, if you turn this into rejections, that is really not good at all. You would likely revisit the 589 level. Okay? So that's what I'm watching on the QQQ. I think that is probably the cleanest thing to be watching today in my book. Much cleaner than the S&P. So the S&P is obviously outperforming because the Dow Jones, if you guys did not realize last week, the Dow Jones made new all-time highs last week, which actually sort of slipped under the radar for me. This is an insane outperformance on the Dow, making new all-time highs, which is incredible. So the Dow Jones pullback to 49.9, 49.8 area would be a fantastic look for a pullback long. But that is why you're having some outperformance on the S&P, roughly about 2% stronger than the NASDAQ futures right now. The S&P is moving right into a major rejection point that I am very uneasy of longing into, and it's right inside this failure area around 69.80 that we have seen multiple times on this S&P. So I'm a little bit sketched out up here on the S&P to necessarily be aggressively long into 69.70, 69.80. I really don't like that area. If we can get above that 69.80, then maybe we get our push towards the 7,030 and sort of navigate through this straight down move, right? A little bit of an upside through this. I think that is possible. But I'm going to be very cautious right into these rejection highs at 69.81. That 69.81 is exactly where you failed on this Tuesday. If we go to Tuesday, right here, look at this 69.81 level on Tuesday of last week. See that? That's where this whole downside move started, off 69.81. Look at the high of the overnight session, 69.81. I mean, it is exactly at that level. So I really don't think there's much reason to be long right into this 69.81 level. I would much prefer some deeper pullbacks. For now, you are holding above this Thursday pre-market high right here at 69.20, which is not a bad spot. If you break that, I think you're going to trade back to Tuesday's lows at 68.86. And if you break that, then you are right back into the daily 100 SMA at 68.68. I don't mind the 68.68 pullback. I really don't. I don't mind seeing this retrace back to the daily 100 and then creating a higher low off that level. I don't hate that look either. I think that's actually quite interesting. So if we do get a little bit of a smackdown and we do pull back to that daily 100, I would be watching that as a potential opportunity, right? That's a pullback to the Wednesday lows. That's likely right around that 50% retracement. If we drag it from this low to this high, yep, that is exactly 50% retracement at 68.68 and the daily 100 SMA. I think that's a fantastic spot to be watching for a potential pullback long. And, that would make it so we don't have to long right into these supply highs. We'll see. 69.20, Tuesday's lows, 68.68, daily 100. I like all of these spots. I would just monitor them intraday. Okay. SPY, I think the best long on the SPY is going to be 684. I think this is a fantastic thing to look for today. 684 is a very clean spot. So we have 684 Thursday's lows. We have 684 Tuesday's lows. We have a nice low here around Wednesday, 684. And we can see that we have sort of ripped right through that 684 level. If we pull a retracement from these lows to these highs, this is actually around a 38.2 to around that 50% retracement, which is actually these lows here. I like this area right between that 684 and 682 zone for a nice little pullback and long opportunity. That is something that I would be looking for. I would prefer not to just long right into these highs at 694. You can see what happened here, what happened here, what happened here, and you can see it starting to fail once again. So I don't really think you have much risk-reward longing right into 694. Where would that risk-reward reset and give me some interest? Likely back down to this 684, this Tuesday low, this Thursday low, possibly down to this Wednesday low and this overnight low here at 682. So somewhere inside of that zone, I'm very interested to look for that retracement long opportunity. It's going to be roughly, and I think it doesn't hurt to, I don't think it hurts to do something like this, right? The 684 to 681.75. I don't mind that because that would include the Wednesday low and Tuesday low here. Somewhere inside of that zone right there is where I'd love that pullback long, right? Pull back to these highs, these lows, bam, bam, give me that opportunity. We'll see if it occurs. Would be great. Daily 20, daily 50, sort of sitting right in the center of this channel. Just don't feel like being a aggressive long Monday morning off the open into these highs, so I'd much prefer to see a little bit of a failure come in first. So we shall see. All right. IWM, nice outperformance. IWM pushed right back into the major highs. As you can see right here, major highs, 267 on the IWM. Be careful up there. Could definitely see another channel high rejection play. I would love to see a pullback back towards this 262 area, 261.60, 262, right here at this Thursday high. I think that's a nice little retracement spot to be looking for. Somewhere back into this low, back into these highs. Give me something like this, right? I think that's a nice spot right there to see if the IWM can stay strong. Watch 267 highs. Be careful up there. SMH. So what did we talk about on the SMH on Friday? We talked about how the SMH did not break below the previous day lows and how that is a sign of outperformance. So heading into Thursday, we were very aware that the Wednesday and Thursday's lows were equal lows, where on the NASDAQ it was actually lower lows. So that was a very, very clean look. The break and hold over 391 was incredible early morning. We had these lows, and early morning on Friday, there was a sick hold right above that level, which shot this thing straight up the rest of the day. So an incredible spot there. I would love to get the SMH to come back down to this 390, 389 spot. Will that happen? I'm unsure, but I do believe that that is your best opportunity on the long side. There's just no doubt that that's the cleanest spot. Previous lows, into highs, into new lows. That would be such a perfect higher low situation, right? Here's your low, here's your higher low, here's your retracement move. That's again a 50% retracement of this move, right? That is just such a perfect spot right there at 390 on the SMH. So I'll be looking for it. I'm hoping that we get it. If not, then we're going to have to sort of watch this thing just straight up over 403, 405. If that occurs, then you're going up to this 413 high right here if we don't get that pullback to that 390. Hopefully we do. IBIT, I would be watching 43, my friends. I think this is the most important level to be watching on IBIT. If we go to the daily chart, you can see right here, there is a massive daily low and also previous major daily highs right in this 42, 43 spot. So you have major 42 highs, major 43 lows. Between that 42 and 43 zone, you do not want to see rejections come in. If that rejects, that is not good. That would be a rejection of the 2024 highs on Bitcoin. You definitely need to see IBIT reclaim 43. If IBIT can reclaim 43, I think that's actually a very big bull case for Bitcoin. If you can get a 43 reclaim after trapping below that spot, reclaiming these lows right here from 2025, that would be a super bullish look. We have to see it happen, though. We are not there. We have not done that. We need to see a strong reclaim back above 43. If that does not happen, then I would not be looking long Bitcoin or surrounding stocks. 43 IBIT, that's your spot. Make sure you have alerts. Okay. Let's look at gold real quick. Gold has respected the channel that we created perfectly. The gold channel that we created was 4680 to around this 5100, 5150 right here. Look at the low that came in on Thursday into Friday. Perfect right there at these previous lows. What a hold, what a bounce. Upside supply right here, 5100, 5150. I would be careful up into here. And on GLD, it's actually a very clean level. I actually love the GLD level at 470, 468. So if gold does find some juice here in the coming weeks to days, I actually quite like the long over 470, 468 a lot. This is a very clean spot. Clean rejections, clean low, clean fails, clean high. If you get a hold above 468, 470 here, that's going to be another rocket ship on gold. So I'm definitely putting an alert at 470 on GLD. If it doesn't do it, then I'm not going to trade it within this channel. Okay? Golf. Member for 19 months. Appreciate that, man. Thank you, brother. Yeah, if you guys could, I'm going to take a second. If you could, please press that like button for me. We got 2,000 people here. We got 700 likes. If you could, press that like button. Subscribe to the channel if this is a first time here. All right. So that's really the futures looks today. Pretty clean analysis, very clean levels. Now it's just our job to watch these levels intraday. The quote behind me. Actually, I forgot to mention the quote behind me. I'm going to actually do, I think, a full video on this quote. But build confidence before you build profitability, right? You need to be able to build confidence in your trades. Before you even try to build profits, before you try to become profitable, there's a recipe to profitability, and there's absolutely one of the parts of that recipe, one of the parts of that equation is confidence, right? And if you don't have confidence in the equation, you will not be able to be profitable. So this is something that I have noticed from, in the mentorship group, some traders in there, as well as some traders in the community. The confidence and the lack of confidence in the positions that you take is absolutely the reason why you fail, right? You can't enter and then be panicking instantly. You have to have confidence in the trades that you're taking. That is an absolute must-have in your equation. If you do not have that in your equation, the calculation comes out to error, right? When the calculator says error, the reason is because there's no confidence factor inside of that equation. That needs to be the first thing you build, right? And so somehow, and I know that's difficult, but somehow that confidence needs to be built. And so just a little bit of a Monday piece of advice for you guys out there. Without confidence, you will not be profitable because you will not trust anything and you will not be comfortable in any trade you're in. It's a must-have, a must-have. Okay, let's move on. Let's jump into some stocks, and then we're going to check out the prediction markets today with Kalshi. Of course, if you guys do want to sign up for Kalshi, if you want to get interested in the prediction markets, it's a growing market, and I know some people are looking at it as gambling, but I got to believe, and I like the idea of us using our technical abilities to try to make money in that market. That's sort of a market that I think can be taken advantage of early on, right? Early in the adoption period of that prediction market, I think using technical levels could actually be quite lucrative. So that's sort of my edge that I plan to continue to use and just sort of, experiment. I don't want to be late. I don't want to be late to that opportunity. So I have started to look at it. We'll look at it again today with later in today's live stream. We'll pull up the website and see what we got today. But anyways, Tesla. So, Tesla, what a beautiful trade on Friday, man. I just loved every second of it. Break and retest of PDH was just absolutely spot on. It was just incredible. Straight up, right towards our 414.50. I mean, what a beautiful spot. So, awesome trade. I mean, just hands down. Just probably one of the few just absolutely perfect A-plus trades that I've taken this year. I think probably the best, not in terms of profit, but definitely the best trade of the year in terms of just perfect level, perfect target. Just everything was just so clean and crispy about it. So hopefully we can get more of that on Tesla. It's not very common that you get a crispy, clean trade on Tesla, but it sure was clean on Friday. Today, 414.50, that was always our target, and this is always what we've talked about at these triple bottom lows as a potential retest rejection, right? That is definitely something to be cautious of today. This is the retest rejection level, my friends. The upside that you have seen, right? Whether you have to understand that the long that we took on Friday, that is a scalp long, understanding that we are trading back into rejection points. That is a profit-taking opportunity, right? So this was always just a long to get back into these triple bottom lows. And you can see that this could very well be a break and retest failure. That is absolutely something that is on the table here. So I am very intrigued to see what happens at 414.50 today. This is absolutely something to be paying attention to. If you fail back under this 409.43 high from Wednesday and Thursday, this could really sort of fall back over again, back into 399.400 and possibly back into that 383. Now, on the same side of that, right, the same analysis goes for the upside. If you reclaim these triple bottom lows, this is equally as interesting for a long, a very aggressive long as well. If you reclaim these triple bottom lows, if Tesla starts to hold back above those lows, there is an equally interesting opportunity for longs into 430 and the daily 20. So very interested on both sides on Tesla today. Definitely paying attention to this one. I love this 414.50 level. It's a must watch. NVIDIA, I don't love NVIDIA straight up here. I think I want to see some pullback here. I just wouldn't feel comfortable longing NVIDIA into these rejection points with this straight up move below. So I would like to see NVIDIA with a little retracement. I love the long at 178 on a 50% retracement right here, but I don't like the long with this sitting below. It's always something to pay attention to. Where am I long and what has happened before my long entry? If you see this before the entry that you're taking, I would be very skeptic, right? Because if this thing just has to pull back before it goes up, then you are going to get taken out in a pointless downside move, right? Because if this simply just needs to do something like this, where it goes, okay, this is too straight up, not enough volume, let me pull back to this high, and then let me rip back higher. You don't want to be the person that keeps longing these highs and then sees this, gets stopped out, and then a week later, you want to absolutely just, throw your computer and be like, what the hell? How is that thing straight up after I got stopped out on that Monday, right? And that's why I'm always cautious of being long in those situations. And why? Because I've done it 1,000 times, right? How do you learn that? Desi, how'd you learn that, right? How'd you learn to have that mindset? It's because I've lost 1,000 times doing that, right? So I've lost so many times being long somewhere like this, seeing it go down, taking a 30-40% loss, and then the week after, I'm looking at NVIDIA at $200, and I just cannot believe myself. I'm sick, right? I'm sick to my stomach. It's because I'm taking bad entry points that put me in drawdown. So I want the good entry point back at the retest and at the 178. And if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. So be it. I'll find another trade. But I don't want to be in that situation. It's the worst situation to be in. AMD is probably my top watch today. This is an incredible looking setup. I really hope that this plays out because it has the making of an incredible long. It really does. You have an AMD very clear high here. You have a downside move. You have a bounce off that 186.65. And you have a reclaim that is coming in right above a clean 204, 205 level. I mean, this has every making of a perfect break and retest long right back into this 226, possibly into that daily 50, daily 100. I would really love to see this play out today. 204, 205 AMD. Be watching this zone. If this thing holds stout, I think AMD tries for that 212. Above that, I think it can go to that 226. I would love to see this hold tight. Definitely something to watch. Broadcom, we've been talking about the outperformance on Broadcom. It absolutely continues to outperform. It just needs to break 340. It's 340 or nothing for me on Broadcom there. TSM's probably going to go to new all-time highs today. It basically already did on Friday. Really don't have much action on TSM lately. It's been a fantastic stock. If there's one thing I got to say about TSM, is just buy the stock, man. This thing is just absolutely incredible. Just buy the stock. TSM, it's basically the heart of everything. So, yeah, in terms of a trading opportunity, maybe a daily 20 pullback, but in terms of just this whole move lately, I just say if you're a shareholder, you're pretty happy right now. MU, I actually don't really like the memory names this week. I think there's a little bit of outperformance I'm seeing here on the memory names, just to start, right? It could absolutely change. But right now, without trying to predict what happens, right? Without trying to be Albert Einstein, without trying to, just tell everyone what I think is going to absolutely happen, right at this very moment, there is underperformance in the pre-market on MU, SNDK, especially MU. So you're getting sort of a failure here on MU at this 400 spot. And I'm not surprised to see this underperform a little bit because it is up so much, right? So if a little bit of money flows out of MU and maybe flows into something like AMD or flows into like something like, Broadcom, I think that's very, very, I think that makes a lot of sense. So I'm a little bit cautious of that. I'm seeing failures here. I'm probably not going to be sort of foaming at the mouth for MU longs this week. Where I would be foaming at the mouth for MU longs would be right here, 350. 346, 350. If we can get a pullback to these highs and this low, that's the money spot for me on MU. I've been waiting for that, so I will continue to wait for that. SNDK, it's holding. I'm a little bit cautious. I'm just unsure about SNDK inside of this zone right here. So you see this zone. I'm still trying to get a good read on this one. And again, guys, something to remember. If you don't have a good read on something, that's okay. Just don't trade it, right? You don't have to have a good read on every single stock. There's a few names out there that you can really start to understand and get a good read on. And if there's something you don't have a good read on, that doesn't mean you're a bad trader. Doesn't mean that you have to trade it, right? So for me, I don't have a good read on SNDK here. I don't know what's going to happen inside of this zone because I have lows here and I have some wiki rejection highs in here, right? And so I'm a little bit careful of just longing through this area. This looks like a pretty sort of a sketchy area in here. So I'm just not that fond of this setup. And maybe it just does what it always does and goes higher, right? I wouldn't be shocked if SNDK is just up $100 a share today. Why would I be shocked? But I just really don't have a good setup. I would say over 646. If we got that, then I would say that's a very aggressive long. Without that, I'm just sort of, I don't really know what to do in that area. So for me, there's really nothing on SNDK today. WDC, another one that I really don't have much of a spot to look for. You have major rejections in here. This is really the long down at 257. And so for me, I don't have any interest inside of this area here. So there's really nothing there for me on WDC. Let me go to... hello. ARM. How about this? Our shares. I think I'm up on those shares now, actually. Let me see real quick. Let me sign in real quick. What is my average on... Hold on, bear with me. My average on ARM shares is... ARM shares, where the hell is it? ARM shares average is 120.61. All right, so we are back in the green from our ARM long-term investment that we purchased on this live stream together. And what an outperformance over the last few days. What a beautiful outperformance post-earnings. Straight up, straight up. Let's see if it can continue to work, right? We've talked about this area on ARM for a long time. Everyone that's bought ARM in the 100s to 90s, right, over the last 3 year or last year and a half has gotten paid off. Longs, right? So we bought the shares with that thesis. You can see now a very strong outperformance. And actually, if you look at this weekly chart, look at this weekly candle, almost engulfing all of this price action. Look at this one weekly candle engulfing all of these weeks of price action. So I'm pretty bullish on ARM still down here. If ARM can get above this 125.17 weekly low and even above this weekly high at 128.74, I think you're off to the races here, especially if the semis can stay strong. So something I'm going to continue to watch here. I think ARM pullback holds here at 118, right here, 118, 118, 118, 118, and 118. And the daily 50 that's swooping down right here. I think that could be a great pullback spot to be watching. ARM 118, that's something I would be watching today. Okay, Joshua, appreciate that, man. Thanks for joining the Coffee Fund. Coming soon. All right, let's jump into some names. Apple, SPY, you're late there, Joshua. Way late, but I appreciate that. You can go back to the beginning of the live stream for SPY. Did we not go over SPY? No, we did. We went over SPY. Okay, let's go back to Apple. Yeah, 280s, 281 area. Just sort of sketchy on Apple up there. Not really loving that. It has been very strong, though, so outperformance could absolutely still be there. Amazon. I know a lot of you guys are probably interested in Amazon. There is one level that you must watch on Amazon, my friends, and that is this low right here, 215.18. That is a must-watch level on Amazon. You have to get above this daily low. If you want to be long Amazon on a comeback move, you need to reclaim 215.18. There's just no question about it. You cannot be long on a move that's below this daily low. It has to get above this daily low, and it has to reclaim and rip. Excuse me. So for me, 215.18, I have an alert set, and I will do nothing until that alert hits. Meta. Interesting, I guess you could say, but price action is sort of But hey, Meta is continuing to maintain this 20 and 50 daily moving average. That is something you can continue to watch. Microsoft, if it can get over this 408.56 level right here, if we can reclaim that, I like upside towards 420. So I would watch that 408.56. I have an alert there. Hood needs to get above 88.67 to 87.75. You can see right here, lows and highs. This is a potential failure point. So I would be careful of that failing right now. Now, where I want to see Hood hold tight is back at this 80.77 or possibly back at this 77.62. Now, you do have earnings tomorrow, so I'm not sure that this is something I'll be trading, but what an opportunity on Friday. Maybe there's a pullback long at some of these levels. Palantir. I am watching Palantir to get back over 140.37 right here. I think that would be a great spot to look for a reclaim long. If you can get above this 4-hour low at 140.37, I think you would trade into this low at 147. And if you would trade higher than that, then you could be looking back towards this daily 200. But we need to see reclaims, right? What's the most important move right now? Reclaims. So for me, 140.37. CRWV, very interested. Probably top 2 today. Top 2, maybe even top 1. CRWV, very strong this morning. This is possibly a share purchase coming in soon on the old long-term portfolio for me. Love this area down here, sort of back into the IPO highs, holding that area very nice around the 65-70 area. It's a lovely hold down in that spot. This one's getting interesting for me down here, man. I want to keep watching it. I want to make sure that we're locked in on what this thing's up to because it's an interesting name. So what happened recently here on CRWV is you pulled back very aggressively into that IPO low again, into these lows, and bounced hard. A hard bounce right off that level. You have highs, you have highs, you have highs, you have lows, and look at where you're holding this morning. You're holding right at these lows. Look at this on the hourly chart. Look at the hourly chart here. See this low? See this low? See this low? See these lows? Look at this hold right now as we speak. That is a very interesting hold. Anywhere between that and the daily 50, between 87, 83, somewhere in here, I think is a fantastic pullback long. Maybe it already is setting up. So CRWV, very interesting for me. I'd like to see it get above this daily 100, this daily 20 SMA, right, over some of these previous highs. There's highs here. Let me go ahead and put my OHLC on. Somewhere within these highs, right? This Wednesday high here at 92, if we can hold above that, if we can hold above the daily 20, if we can get a nice maintain above like this 92 and daily 20 spot, I would love this sort of pop into that daily 100, possibly back into that 108. Yeah, I would definitely be watching CRWV. Just watch out of this daily 20, right? That's really the spot that needs to hold. This daily 20 and this Wednesday high right in here needs to turn into support. Okay. With that, you can watch NBIS as well. NBIS, it does have earnings this week, though, but this is another one that will move in, relation to that. Walmart, above 129, 130. I mean, this is a fantastic still retest long to be watching. The XLP sector is still just rock solid, so you can watch the outperformance on those. APP is strong this morning, very strong this morning, up $24 a share. Over 448.57, I like that upside. Over this low from Tuesday, if you get a little reclaim ripper over Tuesday's lows, that could be very interesting on APP. I have a lot of alerts set there. I might set multiple alerts because I really don't want to miss this. So I'm going to sort of set multiple alerts there and make sure that I'm getting ringed when that thing starts hitting above those levels. Netflix, actually sort of strong this morning and possibly still creating that long off this weekly low. Something to keep watching. Netflix is actually potentially reclaiming some levels today. So if you look at this, look at 82.50 on Netflix. If Netflix can reclaim these 82.50 lows, this might start to build. I would be watching it. Eli Lilly, straight up this morning because of Hims. Hims has stopped selling GLP-1. Thank God I sold those shares. Yeah, Hims sort of didn't do it. I lost confidence in this one, and you know what? I'm happy I did. After seeing multiple fails and after getting some of that competition from different names, I was like, all right, let me start to de-risk this name. And man, was that a good call. Because Hims is possibly, it's not looking good for Hims right now. So, a good bail of a sinking ship, it seems like. They stopped the sale of GLP-1. Not good. Not good. Hims needs to take another pill, but it's not looking like. I wonder if there's some sort of mindless short on this name, but yeah, I'll probably just leave it alone. We'll see what it looks like. But yeah, Hims no bueno, my friends. And that could help Eli Lilly. That could help Eli Lilly. So that's why Eli Lilly's up a little bit. What's Novo doing this morning? What's that ticker? Novo Nordisk. NV. What is it? I'd never look at this. And what is Novo Nordisk's? Who can tell me? Is that not a... What the hell? I never look at this stock. What the hell is their ticker? NVX? No. I'll wait for someone to tell me what that ticker is because I don't know what it is. NVO? Oh, there we go. Thank you. Thank you. So they're suing Hims. I think Eli Lilly just wins out at all. So, yeah, I'm going to watch Eli Lilly. I have Eli Lilly in my long term as well. These are the three stocks that I have. Oh, they're gone. The three dark horses that I'm currently holding. Well, not dark horses, just sort of like side names that I've bought recently. The three names I've bought recently, MP, Eli Lilly, and ARM. Those are my three sort of, sometimes I'll pop in a few like side quest sort of side quest shares that I like, and these have been the 3 side quests that I've been on lately. At one time, it was hymns, right? I took that off. Aklo, we sort of side quested that a little bit into that huge push, took a lot of that off. So right now, I'm side questing ARM, right? That's really the big side quest. And then MP with the rare earth. This one I'm still just sort of holding on to right now. So we shall see. Last thing I'm going to talk about before it is time for us to leave today, for us to part ways, and that is Zoom. This is another one that I probably should start considering a side quest on. Zoom has been a really interesting watch for us on this live stream. If you guys have been part of the live stream, this has been something that we've sort of been just trying to wrap our heads around, why it's so low and why it hasn't found any strength. And it's starting to potentially find something, to be honest. You're holding the daily 20, daily 50 here. You're creating a beautiful flag. You had a very strong move here recently. You have earnings approaching. This one might start to get interesting. I think that Zoom is a very underloved name right now. If you guys, I mean, I'm sort of in this world, right, where I'm setting up Zoom calls all the time and setting up webinars and doing those webinars for us online. And if you guys realize what this world is turning into, it's very much online-based education, online-based meetings, everything online. I know there's competition for Zoom, but I have yet to find something that I more enjoy than using Zoom. It's, for me, just the easiest one and cleanest option. And so for Zoom to still be down here, I just really think that this is an opportunity. Obviously, I don't expect it to make a move like it did in COVID because this is just absolutely asinine. This is ridiculous. But do I think that Zoom's an opportunity? I do. I really do. And so going to continue to watch it, man. I hope that they have such an opportunity to innovate with AI and innovate for people that create meetings, like AI, just recaps and just all this stuff, all these opportunities. So I really do believe in Zoom, and I really do need to start finding myself buying something here. I haven't bought a position yet, but I really think I need to. Like, I need to start finding a way into this. I don't know. That's my feel on this one. As of right now, of course, this is not an investment advice. This is, do not just buy because of me. Obviously do your own due diligence, right? But something's going on here, right? Something's starting to get you're getting a little bit of action going on here on Zoom lately. So I would be watching this personally. I'm going to keep my alerts here right above this 94.29 spot. I'm going to make sure I'm watching this thing over the next few days. Okay. All right, guys. Hope you have a fantastic trading day. Let's take a quick look actually at Kalshi. Let's see if there's anything that I like on here real quick. 1 second. Bear with me. So we are up $6 on the portfolio, which is fantastic. Let's look at financials real quick. S&P price closed at 4 p.m. today. Okay, let's take a look at the charts real quick. So what do we like today on the ES? ES, I like a higher... So I like this level to be a rejection point today, which is where? That is basically the Friday high a day. So that would be what on SPX? That's like right around that 69.50, 69.60. 69.50, above 69.50. Let's see here. $69. Yeah, I think I'm going to put a little bit on the 69.50. 69.50 or above, I'm going to say no to that. And I'm going to go $20 on that today. I got 20. 20 on 69.50 or above. I'm going to go ahead and put no on that. I like the ES to stay below that. I like the ES to stay below this high today at 69.81. That's basically that would be basically the ES would have to break this 69.81 today. SPX. That's basically the 69.50 high right here. Yeah, I'm going to go with that today. Bam, put it in. All right. That's my $20 prediction on the day. 69.50. That's the ES. I'm using that ES 69.81. I'm going to say the S&P 500 stays below that level today. That's my read by end of day. I'm going to look for this today to just sort of be a pullback and sort of consolidation back towards this area here, and maybe we find a new long later this week. All right. Hope you guys have a fantastic trading day. Good luck out there. Of course, if the market gets, if you do these predictions, I would make sure you are still trading according to what is going on, right? So if we do end up getting above that 69.81, please make sure you're still trading long if that's a good long, just because you might lose on the prediction side. So have a fantastic trading day. Good luck out there, and I will see you tomorrow. Peace and love.